Following the discussion of crop rights and their impact on ownership, use, and transfer of agricultural property, we now examine another fundamental concept in Arizona land law: the definition and legal implications of contiguous land parcels. The term contiguous is frequently used in zoning, subdivision, and development law to describe parcels that physically touch or share a common boundary. Understanding this concept is essential for real estate professionals who deal with land divisions, boundary adjustments, development projects, or valuation issues. In Arizona, the word contiguous has a specific legal meaning depending on the context in which it is applied. Generally, under ARS, paragraph 32 to 100118, contiguous land refers to parcels that are in actual contact with each other at any point or share a common boundary line. This definition can include parcels separated only by a public or private roadway, easement, or right-of-way, provided the parcels are under common ownership or control. However, if the separation involves an intervening parcel owned by another person or an unconnected strip of land, the parcels are not considered contiguous. For example, if a landowner holds two parcels divided by a small dirt road or canal maintained by a utility district, Arizona law still considers the parcels contiguous if both sides belong to the same owner and can reasonably function together. Conversely, if a state-owned strip of land or a separate privately owned parcel divides them, they are not contiguous because the ownership is interrupted. This concept becomes particularly important under ARS, paragraph 32 to 2181E, which governs subdivision requirements. When a property owner sells or offers for sale multiple parcels of land that are contiguous and part of a common development plan, the Arizona Department of Real Estate, ADRO, may treat the combined parcels as a single subdivision, even if they are legally described under separate deeds. This prevents developers from avoiding subdivision regulations by claiming that adjacent parcels are separate projects. The rule ensures consumer protection and proper disclosure under Arizona's public report system. For instance, a developer who owns 5 contiguous 10-acre lots near Marana may not advertise or sell them separately without obtaining a subdivision public report if the lots are part of a coordinated marketing plan. The fact that the lots share a border and are part of the same development effort makes them contiguous under ADRI's interpretation. This principle was reinforced in the administrative ruling. Even if property is split into multiple assessor parcels, the subdivision laws focus on how the land is actually marketed, offered, and sold. If contiguous lots are being marketed as part of one unit or single project, the commissioner can require compliance with subdivision reporting and disclosure requirements to prevent developers from bypassing the statute simply by giving each parcel its own number. The issue of contiguity also arises in annexation and zoning boundary disputes. Under ARS, paragraph 9 R471A, a city or town may annex land only if it is contiguous to its existing boundaries. Courts have interpreted contiguous to require a shared boundary line of at least 300 feet, though a mere point of contact is insufficient for annexation purposes. In the landmark case, City of Tucson versus Garrett, 1963, the Arizona Supreme Court ruled that two parcels touching only at a corner were not contiguous for annexation purposes, emphasizing the need for a more substantial shared boundary to support municipal expansion. Annexing land means a larger government body, like a city or country, legally adds territory from a smaller entity, like a township or another country, to its own boundaries, extending services, laws, and taxes to that area. It's a way for cities to grow by incorporating nearby land, often to provide services, manage development, and expand the tax base. While in international law, it's the acquisition of territory, historically often by force, though now generally illegal if not recognized. For real estate professionals, the determination of whether parcels are contiguous can significantly affect property development rights, taxation, water rights, and zoning classifications. For example, when determining whether land qualifies as a single agricultural operation for property tax purposes under ARS. Paragraph 42 on 12151. Contiguity plays a key role. If two or more contiguous lots, tracts of land, or patented mines are owned by the same person, they may be jointly assessed and one valuation may be determined for the whole. Non-contiguous parcels may be treated as separate properties, resulting in higher assessments or disqualification from certain tax exemptions. Similarly, for water rights under the Arizona Groundwater Management Act, contiguous land ownership can determine eligibility for groundwater use permits within active management areas, AMAs. From a practical perspective, contiguity influences how properties are valued, financed, and marketed. Appraisers often assign a premium value to contiguous parcels that can be developed as one unified tract, as opposed to fragmented holdings. Developers seeking to assemble land for master planned communities, golf courses, or commercial centers must ensure that parcels are contiguous to avoid complications with zoning continuity and infrastructure planning. Real estate licensees must also consider contiguity when drafting purchase contracts, land descriptions, and disclosures. If the buyer believes they are purchasing a single unified property, but the parcels are not legally contiguous, the agent could face liability for misrepresentation or failure to disclose a material fact under AAC R428 11001B-K. The agent should verify parcel maps through the county assessor's office or GIS system to ensure that the land boundaries match the client's understanding. Understanding the concept of contiguity therefore bridges multiple areas of Arizona real estate practice: land use regulation, title and boundary law, taxation, water management, and ethical disclosure. It reflects a continuing theme across this course, that legal precision in defining property boundaries and ownership rights is vital for professional competence and client protection. Review summary. The term contiguous describes parcels of land that physically touch or share a common boundary. Under Arizona law, parcels separated only by a road, easement, or right-of-way can still be considered contiguous if under common ownership. Contiguity determines whether land qualifies as a subdivision, can be annexed by a city, or is treated as a single parcel for zoning and taxation. Misunderstanding or misrepresenting contiguity can lead to legal disputes or regulatory violations. For real estate professionals, confirming contiguity through accurate mapping, title review, and disclosure is essential to maintaining compliance and client trust. Discussion prompts. Why does Audrey treat contiguous parcels under common development as a single subdivision? Answer. To prevent developers from evading subdivision laws and to ensure buyers receive full disclosures and consumer protections. How can the definition of contiguity affect property taxation? Answer. Contiguous parcels may be assessed as a single property, while non-contiguous parcels could be taxed separately, affecting overall valuation. What steps should a real estate agent take to confirm whether parcels are contiguous? Answer. Review the legal descriptions, county assessor maps, and GIS data, and consult surveyors or title companies when necessary. Closing remarks. The concept of contiguity may seem technical, but it has far-reaching implications for every aspect of real estate, from subdivision approvals to annexations and valuation. For Arizona real estate professionals, mastering this concept helps ensure compliance with statutory and regulatory requirements, prevents boundary-related disputes, and upholds the fiduciary duty of full and accurate disclosure. Understanding contiguity reinforces the importance of precision and due diligence in land transactions, echoing the broader professional standards of honesty and competence that define the real estate industry. Supporting sources and key case law, ARS, paragraph 32 210118. ADRE's definition of contiguous property for subdivision purposes, ARS, paragraph 32218E. Subdivision regulations and common ownership, ARS, paragraph 42-121. Agricultural property tax classifications and contiguity requirements, AAAC, R4 28-1101B. Licenszee's duty to avoid misrepresentation and ensure disclosure of material facts.